Hey, what is up guys? My name is True Underdog, here with a guide today on how to play Cyrax. This guide will cover his special moves, his attack strings, and everything in between. So without further ado, let's break him down step by step. As you can already see, we have the special moves on screen, so let's go ahead and start there and do them in order from top to bottom. First off, we have the net. Now the net is pretty essential for extending combos, although you do have the ground bombs and you got the hover bombs as well. But the net's a more immediate solution to extend the combo, especially because it holds them in the air. How does it do that? I have no idea. It's science. It's something to do with science, right? Now, all kidding aside, a lot of players are going to want to do this thing right off the bat, right? They're going to want to jump in, hit the opponent, and go for a net. But that's very, very risky because the net is extremely unsafe if done up close and the opponent blocks it. If they block this, they can hit you for a full combo, and that's something you never want to happen. Unless you're just sadistic like that and you love hurting yourself. In reality, the net is better for actually extending combos. So stuff like this, right? Look at that, a very easy 36%, and that was much safer because this attack string is actually +2. So I had no risk there when I did this. I couldn't get punished with a full combo if the opponent blocked. Whereas the net, they totally could have punished me. So keep that in mind, the net is a double-edged sword. It's very great for extending combos, but also very risky if you do it on block or just try to throw it out willy-nilly. Now from a distance you'd be fine, right? Like from back here, pretty safe, relatively safe. Although it will trade with projectiles, but that's actually in your favor because it holds them there. So if Liu Kang throws a fireball at me and I throw a net, my net's gonna win and I can run up to him and get a short combo, right? Just run in and do a combo, no big deal. Now the enhanced version of the net actually drains half of your opponent's meter. By that I mean half a bar, not half of the whole thing. So it's a bit weaker than it used to be in MK9. In MK9 it cost you a meter and also stole a bar from your opponent as well. Here it takes away half of the meter. And the reason that becomes important is if you're doing a long combo, and Cyrax's combos are quite long, if you're doing a long combo, the net in the enhanced version will actually stop them from breaking the combo so you can keep it going. So it's pretty essential to keep in mind that you have that as an option. Alrighty, now onto his chest saw. The chest saw doesn't do very much damage, you know, it's 9% for 5 hits, which isn't bad. However, the reason I love it is because it's basically safe on block. It is -8, which means your opponent should be able to punish it, but on block it pushes them so far back that they have no way of actually reaching you. Let me go ahead and show you guys what I mean real quick. Let's go ahead and set him to block. We gotta have him block everything actually, that's a better example, give me a second. So I'm gonna tell him to block everything. So if I do a low attack that's unsafe, I'm gonna get hit, right? However, if I do the saw, I'm safe. He can't hit me in time. Even if he did a slide, he still wouldn't be able to hit me. I'm just too far away. I can do it as much as I want to. He can't hurt me. So the saw is a great way to judge your opponent and see if they're blocking high or if they're blocking low. It's a pretty good weapon. Now the enhanced version is quite interesting. It's actually a projectile. However, what I love the most about it is that it's 0 on block, which means you can throw the opponent immediately after using it. Look at that sneaky stuff. I just absolutely love that. It's so sneaky, especially in the corner. Now what about if it hits? Because you probably want it to hit most of the time. So if it hits, it actually juggles the opponent. So let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. Now you may have noticed how Sub-Zero hovered in the air for a little bit. That makes it perfect for comboing into head smash, which can lead to some pretty devastating combos. And because it is 0 on block, it's never a risk to actually do it. Alrighty, next we have the bombs. These guys have 3 different variations. The default version is about 2 jumps away, right about there. The close version is right in front of Cyrax. And the far version, if I believe, is almost full screen once it rolls. Yeah, look at that, it's completely full screen once it rolls. And there are different reasons to use each one. Now, most of the time, I find that I like to use the close version after a short air combo. So if I'm fighting Subby Wubby right here, I'm gonna drop a bomb, and he's forced to make a decision. Now, chances are he's gonna block low, which means I can do an overhead and create a nearly unblockable situation for him. Another option that is especially sneaky is to go for a throw. Now chances are you're both going to get hit, but still he's the only one who took damage. So I got knocked down, but he took the damage, and he's definitely going to be blocking, right? He's going to be blocking low, so I can always throw it. And I absolutely love that option, it's very, very sneaky. Although I did mess up a little bit, I meant to do a kick beforehand, so like this. You do a bomb, grab him, boom. I love it. So go for the overhead, or go for a throw when you have a bomb on screen. Keep in mind you can have multiple on screen at the same time if you want to. Look at this nonsense, look at that. And yes, you can chain them back to back. which is pretty nuts. Look at that, a full screen carry. I love stuff like that. Keep in mind that you can't just do the bombs right in front of your opponent's face while they're standing up. That's why I always like to do a mid combo, because it creates pressure. I just love stuff like that. The enhanced version of the bomb will detonate the second it hits the opponent, and it's +8 on block. Meaning if the opponent blocks this, you're always at advantage. So you can basically just keep attacking. Let me go ahead and show you dogs what that looks like real quick. Now, he's not technically forced to block. He could armor out of this, but it's a lot of pressure. I am 8 frames ahead of him, and he was forced to eat all of that chip damage. And that wasn't even a very damaging attack string as far as chip damage. So you can find more creative ways to do even more damage on block. Now, was that worth all 3 meters? Not necessarily, unless he's very low on health and I knew that would kill him. Just keep in mind that the bombs are never a risk if you do the enhanced version. You're always at +8. Same goes for the other ones we do later on, the air hover bombs, same for them too. Enhanced version has the exact same properties. It's great for frame advantage, great for pressuring the opponent, and it explodes on contact and is always plus. Alrighty, so next we have the scatter port. By default, this teleports behind your opponent. However, if you hold back, you can actually teleport in front of them, which is a nice touch. You can also do it from the air to the ground, which is pretty cool. I like it a lot. Now, the enhanced version, I can't really find a good reason to use it. It hits the opponent when it exits and when it comes back. So yes, you can use it for combos, but there are much better ways to extend your combo. It's also not technically safe. According to the frame data, the opponent can hit you afterward. So the teleport's a good way to get behind your opponent and punish them for a projectile, I suppose. But honestly, I can't find many utilities for the teleport at all. Because you have the bombs for range games, you have the net, and you have the air bombs too. You just have so much stuff to fight the opponent with that I don't see why you ever need to go in. I honestly can't find many reasons for the teleport, but please tell me in the comments if there are reasons for it, because I could be wrong. Alrighty, next we have the power grab. I love this move so much because of the camera angle. I love it whenever the game forces the camera to change and follow the action. I love that shit so much. Look how cool that looks. So this attack, as you can tell, is an anti-air. It's also a great way to end air combos for a decent amount of damage. That was 14% there, and it wasn't very hard at all. Now the enhanced version is where things get interesting because it extends the combo. Honestly, this attack is my favorite way to extend combos. I love it. It's so great. It's my absolute favorite, and it looks flashy as hell. Now it can also be done from the air, which means you can do it after an air kick, like this. And then you still have the full combo, which I think is awesome. I just love that. Look at all that free damage, 33%. So that's great for jumping over a fireball and then punishing with a full combo. Pretty cool stuff. And with it, oh no, just barely missed. So as you can see right there, it doesn't hit directly above you, it's more in front of you. And you can also do it raw in the air too. I don't know why you would, but it's an option. You can definitely do that. Alrighty, last but not least we have the hover bomb. Now the hover bombs aren't quite as good at commanding space as the ground bombs are, and the reason why is because the opponent can actually duck under them since they hit high. So they're not as good for pressure. However, what they are really good for is extending combos. And in fact, you have more than enough time to shoot one out after a net and still keep the combo going. You can actually use multiple bombs in the same combo. As long as it detonates on time, the combo will keep going. Now we touched on it a bit earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and reiterate it. The enhanced versions will hit on contact and are always plus on block. So just like the bombs we showed earlier, they're great for applying pressure. Now I don't recommend ever doing the enhanced version of the hover bomb. There's not really any reason to do it. There are better ways to spin your meter, but at the same time it's still an option, so keep that in mind. You got options. Now that that's all taken care of, let's go ahead and move on to the attack strings. And voila, would you look at that, they appeared on screen like magic. Alrighty dogs, let's go ahead and talk about them. So downloaded is safe on block, which is why I love it very much, because if it doesn't combo, it doesn't combo. But if it does hit, then it's definitely a full combo. Look at this shit. Very easy 28%. Very low risk and a very high reward if it does hit. If it's blocked, no big deal, it's safe. Next we have the grinder. This attack hits overhead and is great for ending most of your combos. It even pushes the opponent away, which means you can do bomb setups afterwards, which I personally love. And like you saw earlier, it's also good for unblockable situations. Block it! Yeah! Oh no, I missed the combo, what the f— Alrighty, so on to detonation. This attack is extremely plus on block, it looks hilarious, and does decent damage. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, it may even restand the opponent. Let's go ahead and see. Well, gotta get closer. Nope, it does not restand the opponent, but it does seem to all combo. Next we have User Error. This attack ends in an overhead and is also safe on block. What I personally love about this move is it's a great way to end combos if you're not very confident in your comboing abilities. So, let's say I'm hitting him right here. Bop, bop, bop. Very basic combo, leaves him in a hard knockdown state. I can still move before he does, and I have the advantage, right? If nothing else, this attack string is a very easy way to end combos. Next we have Quick Buzz. This attack hits low and is not safe. The full thing actually is, right? Do this, it's safe, but this is not. However, that is a sneaky low, so it could be good for starting off combos, right? Get that sneaky low in there and keep the combo going. It's still a big risk, but it's a pretty big reward too. Alrighty, now we have our second set of attack strings, because the robots do have quite a lot. First we have Syntax Error. Now on top of looking very, very cool, seriously, this thing looks fucking amazing. Look at this shit, look how cool that looks. You saw the first half, then you saw the full thing. It looks really, really cool. You can't combo after it, but it is a pretty damaging way to end combos. As you saw, it does a pretty decent amount of damage, 15%. Not too much, but pretty good amount. It's also pretty sneaky because it hits low. Hits low multiple times, and also there's a sneaky overhead. So it's very, very tough for the opponent to actually block, especially players who don't know how to fight against Triborg. Alrighty, next up we have Hard Crash. This move is great for starting off combos with Cyrax, and it hits low. I love this move so much. Look how cool this thing is. Oh my god. Next we have Ignite. This attack hits low and is great for extending combos that involve a bomb, especially after a net. But what I love the most about this attack string is that it actually restands airborne opponents if you catch them. See that? See how Sub-Zero was forced to stand back up? That means that no matter how long the combo is, it'll still connect and it'll still complete, which is why it's very deadly when combined with bombs. Now with that all in mind, it does not combo after itself, and it's unsafe. But dang, look at all that damage, 14%? Man, it's pretty crazy. Last but not least, we have Collision Sensor. This attack is +2 on block, so I love using it all the time. It can also cancel into his teleport and his power grab, either or. So if the attack doesn't hit, you can teleport or just leave it as is. If the attack does hit, full combo, which I love so much. Ah, so cool. Got him. Oh, got him, coach. Now before we move on to Cyrax's X-Ray, there are a couple moves I want to talk about. The first two we've shown already, but I want to go over them a bit more in depth. Rotator Cut is a great overhead and it's safe on block. It's only -1. So make sure to always combine this with the bombs to create hard to block situations. That was a bad example. Here's a better one. You still get a full combo that way. Shin Cutter is a great low hitting attack, but it's also unsafe. So don't just start off by doing it raw. And don't do the attack string either. Instead, to test the waters, do the buzzsaw afterward. That's a great way to make sure that it's always safe. After you do Rotator Cut enough times and keep hitting your opponent overhead, chances are he's going to start blocking high, which means you can start using your lows and doing much longer combos. Now Head Blast is actually unique to Cyrax. No other Triborg has this move, and it's very useful for extending combos. However, it's a lot slower than it was in MK9, which means you have to set it up. You can't just go for it raw. It does hit overhead, which is a pretty big plus. So combine this with Shin Cutter and your opponent won't know where to block. It's a really big deal. And make sure to always keep in mind that Cyrax's neutral jump punch has great range. Even at the very top of your jump, it'll still reach the opponent. That being said, it doesn't hit overhead, which is a bit odd, but just keep that in mind. The opponent can block this no matter what. Whether they're crouching or standing, it won't hit them. Just keep that in mind. Because the rest are actually overheads, right? Typically a neutral jump punch is an overhead, but Cyrax's is not. So it loses that advantage, but what it gets in return is really good range. So make sure to utilize it a lot for combos. Last but not least, we have Cyrax's X-Ray, which has armor, but also has very, very short range, and it's not safe on block. So you're forced to use it up close, and if you do it wrong and do it random, you're going to eat a full combo for it, and you've lost all your meter. That being said, it's also very hard to combo into because it has such bad range. I do have a couple combos that utilize it, But honestly, I don't recommend ever using Cyrax's X-Ray if you don't have to, because there are much better ways to get damage with much less meter. Honestly, it's just not very practical. It looks really cool, but outside of that, I don't see many reasons to use it. Still though, it is flashy as fuck, you gotta admit that. Alrighty dogs, let's put it all together for some basic bread and butter combos. The button translations are in the video description below. Please request which character you'd like to see next. If you enjoyed this guide and found it helpful, please leave a like down below. And while you're down there, go ahead and post a comment too. Tell me what you think. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more videos, because we have content on this channel every single week. It is never a dull moment on Underdog Gaming. So make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.
Triborg wins. Fatality.